How you doing? It's Mary here today. Greg, Jane, Karen, hello. It's Mary, the Mother of God. Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. It's Sunday today, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the day of the Sabbath. I found God. Or God, did God find me or did I find God? I don't know. Hello. Hello, how's it going? I'm having a party today. Woohoo! Hello, everyone. How you doing? Oh, my gimbal's playing up. I shouldn't have messed with God. How's life, everyone? Paul here. I'm in a holy mood today. Mary is with me. The Mother of God is here. Say hello to Mary, the Mother of God. How's it going, everyone? Lawrence. Cheryl. Melody. Ilya. Hello. I've got a friend with me today. God is on my side. How's it going, everyone? By the way, you should see the people looking at me in the graveyard. All these people just thought I was insane. How's it going, everyone? Jolene. Tess. Melody. Cheryl. Have I said hello to everyone? Rebecca. Ivy. Waipu. Chen. Greg. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Edinburgh. I'm in a graveyard today. I had a disaster yesterday. I lost all my Harry Potter tour group. You should have seen it yesterday. It was quite funny. Jolene, Jessica. So we meet again. They might think, poor man. I'll tell you what, you should have seen it yesterday. This was hilarious. I lost all my Harry. I was doing a Harry Potter tour and I lost. The app crashed, or I don't know what happened. The signal. I lost the signal. And I was over here. I was over here doing my Harry Potter tour, right? On there. There was about 20 people watching me here. It was so funny. There was more people watching me in the graveyard than I had watching me on Hago. Hello, Jane. Don. Hello. It's Mary. Hello. Paul's discovered God. Hello, Mary. Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. We're all going to say a rosary today. It's the day of the Sabbath. Hope you're remembering that. Back in the old days, you would not be allowed to watch Hago on Sunday. Back in the Presbyterian times of John Knox, Christmas was banned. Hago would have been banned. Bonnie. Julie. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to our miserable Edinburgh. Petros. Jessica. Good morning from Florida. Well, I wish the weather was like Florida. I'm in an ancient burial yard. It's been a burial yard since 1562, when a certain lady who got her head chopped off by her cousin deemed it suitable for burial. This is a medicinal bed here. This is looked after by the members of the Grassmarket Community Project. They were set up by the minister here, Richard, who was inspired by St. Francis of Assisi. How's it going, everyone? Is everyone in a holy mood today? Let me know where you're from, everyone, please. Linda, Warren, Deborah, Lorraine. How you doing, Lorraine? Hope you're feeling better today. Welcome to the Kirkyard of Greyfriars, named after the monks of St. Francis of Assisi, who were here from the middle of the 15th century. Oh. Oh, wow, I've just been hit by some stuff that smells like marijuana. Jesus, holy moly. I'm glad you've not got smell-o-vision, or in fact, I bet you wish we had smell-o-vision. Jesus, holy moly. Where is it coming from? Either somebody's smoking a joint, or there's something here that smells like cannabis. I think some of the monks have planted them cannabis plants and hid them in the medicinal bed here. Oh, look, culinary. Culinary herbs. Oh, aye, that explains it all. I'm trying to see if I can spot the marijuana plant. Who'd have thought that on a Sunday in the day of the Sabbath? In the year of our Lord. What's the year today? Anno Domini 2022. It's quite funny how it's 2022 in Britain, isn't it? In China, it's like 5,000. Israel's about... What year's Israel in? It's not in 2022, neither is China. Hello. How do you know what cannabis smells like? Tess, you're asking the guy who launched Scotland's first cannabis cafe. Google, if you Google Paul Stewart, Purple Haze Cafe, you'll find out how I know about these type of things. Hey, I don't care. My name's Paul, and I'm a Jacobite from the 17th century today. Oh, the big groups I went. Look, there was a big massive group along here earlier on talking about grave robbers. Cheryl T, Lisa, Mike O, Jane, good morning from Canada. Wapu is cooking our Sunday dinner. Rennie, save my love, my darling, save my love. Who remembers him? Rennie and Renato. How's life, Cheryl? Kathy and Karen Elaine. Oh, Karen Elaine, we've got somebody posh here today. She's using her middle name. I've got a middle name. I'm a Jacobite. My middle name is James, which is Jacobite. Latin for Jacobite. Look at this, man. These are called mort safes. Karen Elaine, hello my friend, how's life? Diana D, in the place to be. Carol Sue, how you doing my good friend? Thank you very much for joining my tour today. You need to tell me when the tour starts, by the way, because I keep on forgetting when the tour starts. I'm one of the most experienced tour guides on Hago, but I'm also one of the, sloppiest. Half the time the tour starts and I'm still just talking nonsense to everyone. We're 3 minutes into the tour and I'm just talking absolute crap. When does it start? Well, it's supposed to start in 7 minutes. What time does it start at? 1 o'clock. Tess, yeah, it's supposed to start at 1, but I always come on 15 minutes early. I like to have a conservation? A conservation? No. Well, I'll get it right in the third time. Conversation. Yes. Conversation. God almighty, I got there in the third attempt. I'm having one of the days today, I can tell. Tess. It's a cat, it's 6:52 in the morning, and you have to listen to my dulcet tones. Wow. That must be quite harsh, having to listen to my voice at that time in the morning. I don't know if I could handle listening to my voice at 7 o'clock in the morning. Karen, I'm saying nothing, by the way. I'll get myself into trouble. I'd be like that scene out of Train Spotting with Spud. Whew. Well, by the way, I've got a botanical gardens tour coming up on Tuesday. Does anyone like the gardens? This is the guy who created the gardens. Here, look. See this guy here? Sir Robert Sibbald. He established the first botanical gardens, which was next to Holyrood Palace. By the way, I'm raging, by the way. I'm pure dead raging. Do you know why? Do you want to know why I'm raging? Finlay. Jana, Coyote. Oh. Postcards. Yes, you can do postcards. Is that the mausoleum where he knocked on the door? Yes. I had more people watching me in the graveyard than I did online. I think people thought I was part of the festival. Do you want to know why I'm raging? I had a ticket, I had a pass for the palace. I was going to surprise everyone today. I was going to start my tour in the Holyrood Palace. You know the Palace of Holyrood? I was going to start my tour inside there, right? So I've got all set off. I'm just about to leave the door, and I thought, where's my pass for the palace? It turns out I've lost my pass for the palace. Raging. So I lost the pass for my palace, so I couldn't go to Holyrood Palace. So I had to come to a graveyard instead. Lexi! Hello, my friend. Thank you very much for leaving a very nice review, and Delia, and all the people who have left me nice reviews recently. It's always good to wake up and have my granny on the phone. Every day my granny checks my reviews. She tells me the names. If anyone's given less than a 5-star review, Super Gran's on the case. Hello everyone who's joining. Sue. Diane from Pennsylvania. Lexi, where about in America are you from? Good morning. Texas. I just asked that question. God, I must be psychic. Or psychotic, one of the two. Hey, thank you. From Texas. Wow, I bet you've got guns in the house, Lexi, have you? You've got to watch these people from Texas. Next minute, could be whacking out an AK-47 at you. Give them a bad review. Oof. Julie, hello. How you doing? Pepper, hello. How's it going? Lexi, I don't, but lots of people do. Yes, I meet people from Texas on my tours. It's so funny when you get people from Texas and then people from Florida or California, because they're like total different ends of the spectrum of their beliefs. Hello everybody, it's Mary, the Mother of God. We're going to say the rosary today. We're just going to wait until I get started. Hello. Oh, she's looking lovely, isn't she? Hello, Mary. I'm looking for God. Can you help me? Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. What is it? Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Hail Mary, Mother of God, pray for us now. Well, what is it again? I've forgotten the words. That shows you how good I am. Hello! Diana. Pennsylvanians have more guns than Texans. Whew. Warren. How's it going, Barry? Good day, mate. Malabrawonga. That's Australian for sheep dip. Oh, look, I've got a wasp here, man. I got stung by a wasp a few years ago. I was drinking a can of Stella, and the wasp stung me on the lip. Lexi was born in California. Oh, wow. Lexi was born in California. And you're still adjusting to Texas. They are very different. Yes. I have heard that. I've never been outside Europe yet, unfortunately. Artemis, how's it going, my good friend? Valerie. Anna. DS. Lorraine W. Annie B. Anne B. How's it going? I'm looking for a sign from God. Pray for us sinners now, and at the hour of your death. Let's see if I can find Mary. How's life, everybody? Is everybody embracing the day of the Sabbath today? I'm looking for God. I remember I found Jesus once on the Camino. Oh, look, there's Jesus. Mary, Mother of God, hello. Look, there she's there. Jolene, you've got work to do. What do you mean you've got work to do? Who works on a Sunday? Back in the days of John Knox, that would not be allowed, you know. There used to be the Tartan Taliban. They used to be called the Tartan Taliban. Religious police used to patrol the streets of Edinburgh. And if you were showing signs of outward enjoyment, you got whipped. Can you imagine it? You got whipped in Edinburgh. Is anyone here for the very first time today, by the way? Do we have any Hago virgins? No. How's it going, buddy? Diana. Less a minute. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go, everyone. The anticipation. It's like waiting on the 1 o'clock gun. So I have to be so quiet. Everyone, there's about 150 people watching me. Excuse me. Memphis Paul, how you doing? Christopher, how's it going, everyone? 3 minutes, 3 seconds to go. I've remembered today. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining my tour. Yes, you have to keep an eye on my tours. This is a two-way interaction thing with my tours. I'm quite forgetful, and I forget sometimes what I'm doing or actually talking about. Anyway, my name is Paul. Thank you very much for joining my tour today. I'm a tour guide here in Edinburgh. And today, this tour is called The Good, The Bad and The Funny. It used to be called The Good, The Bad and The Ugly, but I think that had negative connotations, so I thought I would change it to The Good, The Bad and The Funny. So please don't take anything I say too seriously. Sometimes I make flippant remarks, and sometimes I regret the flippant remarks that I make. Carla, hello everyone who's joining. Thank you very much, Carla and Robert. Hello there. Is there anyone here for the very first time? Somewhere on the screen. Hello everyone, Myra, Deborah. On the screen up here or down here could be a follow button. So Lorraine, yes, you could, if you see follow on the screen somewhere, please follow my channel. And you will also see in the bottom of your device a round white button, and that is to take what we call a postcard. So when you see a nice view, Tess, hello. Joyce, Finlay, thank you for that. Anna, thank you. So now, take a postcard of the dancing skeleton. This guy went out last night and got home at 5 o'clock. Chang, hello Chang. I got your message. Did you get my message? Jolene, thank you very much, Jolene. So this guy went out last night and he's just getting home. Look, he's on a rave. It's the dancing skeleton. So take a postcard of that. Practice your postcard fingers. By taking lots of postcards, it doesn't give the tour guides any financial rewards, but it massages our ego. It's also a tip-based platform. If you like the tour, Jolene has already done so. Jolene has already left a tip. And so if you like the tour, you can leave a tip if you like. And you can leave a 5-star review. Anything less than a 5-star review, and you will have my granny to contend with. Look, here's wee Bobby. I put a stick down earlier for you, everyone. See? You see the wee stick? I put that down for you. This is the graveyard, what's it called? The burial spot of Greyfriars Bobby. See it? This is Greyfriars Bobby, a faithful little dog. He guarded his master's grave, all joke, for 14 years. See? Bobby died aged 16 at 1872. There he's there. What a completely ugly statue that is. I don't think I've ever seen an uglier statue in my entire life than that one. It's horrific. It's so cheap looking. They've got a proper statue in a minute. Yeah, the people standing next to me were not too impressed with me, by the way, when I started saying that. I started getting dirty looks from people standing next to me. But I've had enough now. I'm in one of the moods. I'm getting fed up of people watching me. Sometimes I've got more people watching me in the graveyard than I have on Huygo. So look, the story goes that Greyfriars Bobby guarded his master's grave. See him here? Look. All joke, the policeman. Can you see that? John Gray. All joke. Marianne, thank you very much for joining. We're just telling the story about Greyfriars Bobby. See John Gray here. He was a policeman in Edinburgh. The master of Greyfriars Bobby. It's quite hard to read that on that granite stone, isn't it? But basically, all joke died here. And Bobby came to his funeral when Bobby was 2. And Bobby never left. He only left once a day. When the 1 o'clock gun went off at 1 o'clock. He used to sleep underneath that slab there, allegedly. And he died after 14 years. He guarded his master's grave for 14 years. Walt Disney made a movie about it. Isn't that lovely? Edinburgh is twinned with San Diego in California because of Greyfriars Bobby and Bum the dog. Bum the dog was a stray dog in San Diego who rescued a puppy from being killed by a train. And in the process of doing so, Bum lost his paw, his front paw. So when Walt Disney made a movie about it, the two cities of Edinburgh and San Diego got together and twinned the cities over a homeless dog. Now, it's on YouTube for free, by the way. If you want to watch the Greyfriars Bobby, it's on YouTube for free. There's a slight problem with the story. It's not actually true. It's a pile of keek. Does everyone know what the word keek means? Keek. K-E-A-K-E-E-K. Keek. Aye. It's a pile of keek. Like, here's a nice statue of Bobby. You can hardly ever get a decent postcard. The name of the story is Greyfriars Bobby. You see there? The alternative story goes like this. This is Edinburgh's smallest listed building, by the way. You see the dog? It's Edinburgh's smallest listed building. I'm just going to try and get you a nice postcard in a minute. It's quite hard to get a postcard with there's people come from all over the world to see this little dog and hear about the tale of the Greyfriars Bobby. It's a bit of a shaggy dog tale, shall we say. So inside the graveyard, here we go. Get a postcard, everyone. Greyfriars Bobby, look, don't rub his nose. So the story goes that Bobby guarded his master's grave for 14 years, only leaving once a day when the 1 o'clock gun went off to get fed. A rogue tour guide told somebody that it was good luck to rub Bobby's nose, so people started rubbing his nose. And the locals don't like it when you rub his nose because every so often poor Bobby has to go away and get repaired. So there you go, Greyfriars Bobby. And they had to move away now because other people want a shot. Buddy, you've just dropped someone. So like, people come from all over the world to take pictures of a Victorian scam. Do you think I should tell people really? You know what? When I used to do this, I used to stand next to the statue and speak really loud so everyone heard me talking about the fact that it was a Victorian scam. I'm quite mischievous sometimes, you know. It's quite annoying for the locals when everyone's trying to take pictures all the time of pure Bobby. Look, see it? So yeah, so the story goes that Bobby guarded his master's grave for 14 years, only leaving once a day when the 1 o'clock gun went off at 2:20. The alternative story is this, right? See in the graveyard, there's a school, right? There's a school in here. There was a hospital, right? A stray dog appeared one day and it started to make a mess of the hospital's grounds. It was like really nice lawns and shrub beds and all that. And of course the gardener was none too pleased with that stray dog making a mess. So he simply threw it over the wall into the graveyard here, right? So Bobby's now in the graveyard. So there was a guy who worked here, oh, but I wasn't going to get killed by a car. So there was a guy who worked here called James Brown, right? So he started to notice the dog, and so did people coming to visit their families' graves. They kept on seeing this little dog, right? And so they asked the James Brown, what's he doing? What's this dog? We keep on seeing it in the graveyard. And and James Brown says, oh yes, its name is Bobby. His master was all jock, and he was guarding his master's grave, right? He just made up the story. So people like that, oh, you're such a nice guy, James Brown. Here's some money for you, and here's some food to look after the dog for being such a nice man, right? Well, people started to come from all over to meet Bobby, and they got a little chat with Bobby. They could chase, he would throw a stick for them, and Bobby would chase it. And what happened was the local newspaper done an article on it. Right, here's James Brown's grave here as well. Look, James Brown's here. Look, James Brown, friend to Greyfriars Bobby, right? So then the local newspaper done a story about it. Well, the popularity of Bobby just grew and grew. People came from all over Scotland to see Bobby and hear about the tales of the faithful dog guarding its master's grave. His friend owned a restaurant just around the corner, right? So he came up with a little deal with his friend that owned the restaurant. He says, I'll bring my tour groups that come to me and I'll bring them to your restaurant for some food and you can give me some commission from that, right? He was getting commission. Every tour group he took round, he's getting like 10, 20% of the deal. So the scam worked for a few years, right? People came from all over to meet Bobby. It was a lovely little dog, right? And then what happened was, Bobby died. Bobby died. James Brown and his friend who owned the restaurant were raging. They were like, what are we going to do? They just got another dog. Bobby, the statue of the dog is the second dog. The second dog was a Skye Terrier, right? Which is an established brand of dogs. Queen Mary of Scots had a Skye Terrier underneath her dress when she got her head chopped off. And so they just replaced it with another dog. But the second dog was a completely different dog. It was like a mixed breed mongrel. But people didn't know. They were but daft in these times, you know. The dog was cleverer than the people. Aye. The dog was cleverer than the people. So the dog just stayed there because the dog was getting fed. He was getting fed, you know what I mean? So there was a dog called Bobby. Right, the statue here is the second dog. I'll go back round to the other one. So the statue is the second dog. Right, so there was two completely different dogs. Some people tell you Greyfriars Bobby is in here, buried here. Right, but he's not buried anywhere near here. And I'll tell you another thing. James Brown, right, all joke is not buried there. You know the policeman, all joke. He's buried in a completely different graveyard 2.5 miles away. East Preston Street. There's no all joke buried in that graveyard. It was a Victorian scam. They got away with it for 14 years. And so how did they find out? Well, what happened was a professor from Cardiff University called Jan, she researched the story for 5 years, right? She thought the story was a bit suspicious. So she researched the story for 5 years, and what she discovered was it was a Victorian scam. There was two separate Bobbies. And how did she know? Because there's a photograph of Bobby in the museum round here, right? The museum is just over here. So there is a photograph of Bobby, the second dog, right? But there was also, she went to the archives and the libraries and so on, and what she discovered was artists had taken drawings and paintings of the first dog, and she looked at them and realised it was two completely different dogs. It was a scam. Brilliant scam, and do you know what else she realised? There was up to 60 dogs living in graveyards across Britain for the very same reason. The dogs were cleverer than the people. Isn't that mad? So they got away with the Victorian scam for 14 years. Brilliant scam, that wasn't it? It was such a good scam. Walt Disney made a movie out of it. I mean, if they guys were alive, they must have been laughing their heads off when Walt Disney made a movie about it. And then, when Edinburgh got twinned with San Diego in California, over two homeless dogs, look at this Harry Potter dude over here. You get grown men, look at them. You get grown men walking about the streets of Edinburgh dressed as wizards with wands. I mean, come on, man. Are these people 12? Seriously, man. Have a word with yourself, pal. Walking about dressed up as a wizard with a wand when you're about 35. You know what I mean? Respect the day of the Sabbath. It's the day of the Lord. Mary will not be happy. Mary, have a word with them. Stick your head in them. Hello. Look at this, everyone. We've got all electric buses here. See that? Big green buses. Electric ones. I don't know how they'll cope with Edinburgh's hills right enough. Edinburgh is built on 7 hills, just like Sheffield. Did you know Sheffield was built on 7 hills, lass? It was. So is Edinburgh. And I'm sure there's another city built on 7 hills as well. Oh, look at this. We went from the green bus to the Pride bus. We've got a Pride bus now, look. Is it Pride? See? Aye, that's an opal fruit. By the way, you know how opal fruit... Oh, look at this guy here. Look. Oh, man, I'm going to get killed here. Roma. Well done, Melody. Yesterday I saw a silent disco in Edinburgh. They were anything but silent. Any Harry Potter fans here? That's the Harry Potter Cafe. You need to come on my Harry Potter tour, but I've had bad signal problems the last couple of days. In fact, I'm going up to Edinburgh. See, the last couple of days, everyone, I've had really bad signal problems up here. The signal goes down to 1 bar. So I've complained to Hago about it. So let's see what happens when I go back into the centre. It might have just been a glitch, but 2 days in a row, I couldn't get a signal on my app. So just bear, if the signal goes down, just bear with me. I'm trying to get back into a signal area, but it's just weird because I've never had signal problems before in the centre of Edinburgh. So I'm just hoping that it was just a glitch. What was the name of the movie in English, please, Paul? Greyfriars Bobby, Tess. Greyfriars Bobby. It's on YouTube for free. But make sure it's the Walt Disney version, because there's different versions of Greyfriars Bobby. Yeah, sorry, Tess, I never saw that message. I'm assuming you asked it before. I'm having to watch. I'm walking along a road. Many guys have. I'm just trying to avoid the cars as well. Is there any children watching? Does anyone have any children watching? Can you please tell me now? If you have any children watching, by the way, here's a nice postcard, everyone. This is a nice postcard, just kidding on, it's a real one. Look. There's no scaffolding, it's actually a better picture than you can get. Look. It's a nice postcard, isn't it? Just kidding on, it's real. Yeah, it's quite nice. Just try to line it up perfectly for you. Lovely, isn't it? It's quite good, there's no people, because down there there's cars. I think that guy. I'm saying nothing. Carla, I have to be careful. Yeah, because sometimes, seriously man, sometimes people look at me like I've got 3 heads. So like, it's all got construction work on it. So it's a crap postcard. It's a crap one, so... Yeah, this is named after Queen Victoria. This street here is called Victoria Street. Victoria Street. Did you know that Queen Victoria was the world's largest ever drugs trafficker? Queen Victoria sold more drugs than Pablo Escobar. She took cocaine, cannabis, heroin, alcohol. She gave cocaine to Winston Churchill in Balmoral. And she also liked men with really big, who were well endowed, shall we say. Her husband, Prince Albert, seemingly was, he had nothing to hide, shall we say, when he was naked. I'll just try to put this politely in case there's any children watching. Yes, she did. She liked sex as well. She had 9 children, of course. She liked to make love. It's true. I don't know why she had so many children. She was actually a really crap mother, to be fair. Aye, it's quite funny, like. They don't tell you this stuff at school, of course. If I had a history teacher like me at school, I'd have went to school, you know. You see over there? See that pub called Deacon Brodie's? The greatest accolade you can get in Scotland is to have a bar named after you. We don't want no statues, knighthoods, anything like that. When we die, Scottish people want a bar named after them. Something knocking the microphone. Oh, shouldn't it be? Anyone else having problems with the microphone? Shouldn't be. You got a selfie time, everyone? Got a selfie with my brother. You can hear clicking. Strange, I wonder what that was knocking off. Clicking. Let me see, is it connected? I've got a wireless microphone on. I'm hearing a clicking noise too. 1 second, everyone. Just make sure it's on. Bizarre. Hello. Selfie time. Oh, I'll get Mary in. Hang on. I've got to get Mary in too. There's Mary and Deacon Brodie and Paul. Hello. Say hello, Mary. Hello. How you doing today? No, I've not got my shoes on. What? I've not got my fancy shoes on. Look, I've got boots on today. By the way, I emailed. It's my false pay. I emailed this company to see if I can do a ghost bus tour with them, but they never got back. They never got back to me. Now you've got no picture. Huh? What do you mean no picture? Somebody got no picture. Can everyone else hear and see me? Strange, everyone. Maybe try refreshing. Any problems? Oh, 1 second, I'm just going to try and close it. I've just got a nice postcard for you. Anyone who likes rats as a pet, if anyone likes rats as a pet, look away now. Still got picture and sound. Look at this. 1 second, I'm just going to get this. I've got to do a bit of work to get this lined up, you see. Look. You see the rat and the eagle? Got to try and get that lined up. See the postcard? He's going to drop the rat on the roof. It's a pity the buses are in the way in, the scaffolding. That'd be a nice postcard, that, wouldn't it? You see the eagle with the rat. Hello, Atina. Poland. Thank you very much for joining my tour. Welcome to the Royal Mile of Edinburgh. Hope you got that postcard there. Magdalena and John. Oh, you need to join me tomorrow. I'm going on an open-top tour bus. I'm going topless tomorrow, everyone. I'm going topless on a open-top tour bus around the streets of Edinburgh. I've got 2 different times booked. So if you're at a loss, please come tomorrow. This is Gladstone's land. Look at this, everyone. It's been in a shop here since 1501. 1501. Gladstone's land. It's actually a museum. You can go and visit that if you like. Edinburgh's quite busy today. Oh, by the way, Mark, Kate, hello. How you doing? Welcome to the Royal Mile of Edinburgh. I've lost the signal here 2 days in a row, so I'm hoping you see the dragons. You see the 2 dragons. Look at this, the pavements are heaving and an idiot cyclist just come down and cycled through a crowd of people. What an absolute twat. Hello, DT. Welcome. Oh, just going to cross this road quickly before I get killed. So we're on the Royal Mile. See this guy here? He was a bit of a racist, this guy. See this guy here, Hume? Who remembers the good old days when Hago first started? Who was here right back at the start? December, January. What was it? December 19, January 2020. Remember it when there was no people on the streets? You got the best postcards. There was nobody annoying you. There was nobody looking at you as if you've got 2 heads when you're walking about the streets with a gimbal. Yeah, it was great back in the early days. It was lockdown. The virtual tour guides had the streets to themselves. I started in January 2020. January 2020 I started with them. Who wants to go inside the church? This is St Giles Cathedral. Will we go in? More postcards, everyone. Keep on taking postcards. There you go, lots of postcards. See here. I'm now going to show you the only place in Edinburgh where it is socially acceptable to spit. So if you come to Edinburgh and you're feeling quite annoyed, save up all your spit and bring it to Edinburgh and spit right here. This is the heart of Midlothian. See here? It's tradition to spit upon here. Jana, thank you so much. Look, people spit in that every single day and lots of people don't know and they just walk over it getting spit on their shoes and taking it back into their house. Let's see if we got a picture. There's 2 soccer teams in Edinburgh and this is the club crest of one of the teams called Heart of Midlothian. It's named after a book by Sir Walter Scott. It actually used to be where the prisoners were kept who were going to get executed. And as the prisoners were coming out, people would spit upon the prisoners. But people would also spit upon the prison because of the conditions the prisoners were kept in. Oh, I might not be able to go in. Is there a concert on? It's looking very busy. Let's see. I found home. We've come in just at the wrong time, I think. We'll find a home for Mary. Look at this stool. This stool has got a checkered history. This stool is believed to have led to the English Civil War. Have you heard of the English Civil War? It wasn't really an English Civil War. It was really called the War of Three Kingdoms. But yeah, they tried to introduce the English textbook to the Scottish churches. And as the minister read out the English text, old Jenny stood up and chucked her stool at him. She was taking none of her nonsense, none of his nonsense. Look at this, nice postcard. This is all the regiments. Our service, yes. John Knox will not be happy. Hello, she's dancing. Hail Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. They'll not be happy, look. In excelsis Deo. Let's have a quick look. We'll get some postcards before we head off, by the way. Oh, well, I've certainly found God today. I'm in the right place and I'm looking for God. Well, I put the Virgin Mary up with John Knox. Let's go and see if John Knox wants to meet Mary, if he's got anything to say with her. Bearing in mind, he did not like Mary's very much. He did not like Mary, Queen of Scots. Beautiful inside. This is St Giles Cathedral. St Giles is the patron saint of Edinburgh, sorry. He's also the patron saint of lepers. I'm going to turn this camera around for 5 seconds so you can get a vertical shot, okay? I'm going to turn the phone around so you can get a shot of this massive organ. What an impressive size of an organ. Looks like it's in fully working order. Look at that. Lovely. Beautiful, isn't it, in here? I do like this church. I thought you said patron saint of leopards. That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? Look. Oh, look at this, everyone. Get this postcard for you. Look at that. I'll turn the phone round again. Keep on taking lots of postcards, everyone. See the different perspective you get when you do a vertical shot. Right, let's go and see John. It's like a blind date. Let's go on a blind date. I'll need to wait till the people leave. I bet half these people don't even know who he is they're taking a photograph of. Look. Hello, John. I've got a friend for you. Hello. It's been a long time, Mary. You'll be happy with that. I'm going to dress him up as a Christmas tree when it comes to Christmas for a laugh. I'm going to put tinsel on him. I'm going to go in and put decorations on it like a Christmas tree. That's John Knox, Jolene. He led the Protestant Reformation. He will not be happy about Mary being in close proximity to him, you know. He was Scotland's most miserable man. He was so miserable he banned Christmas for 400 years in Scotland. He said Christmas was too popish. Christmas was too popish, according to John Knox. So Christmas was banned for 400 years, from 1560 until 1958. Christmas was a normal working day here in Scotland. We're such a miserable country. We're one of the most miserable countries in the world. And look at this. I'll show you where he's quickly buried here. I think this is hilarious. He's buried in a car park. King Richard III movie's coming out soon, by the way. Is everyone excited to watch Richard III movie? I'm looking forward to watching King Richard III. It was actually filmed in Scotland, part of it. Part of it was filmed here in Edinburgh. I'm looking forward to it. Jolene, no. Oh, I am. I think it'll be quite funny. And I want to find out why they were in Edinburgh. Look, so there he is. Burial space of John Knox, Scotland's most miserable man. Car park space 23. Isn't that brilliant? I think he would be quite happy with that. I don't think he would be too happy with the statue inside the church, right enough. And look at this guy here. This guy here, on the statue here. It was this guy's fault here. By the way, see this guy here? He signed a statute in 1660 that allowed Britain to have slaves. This is King Charles II. His statue was recently looked at in Edinburgh because of connections to slavery. But it actually goes back to Queen Elizabeth. But he just continued it so they could allow people to be used as slaves. So some people think his statue should get taken down. King Charles II. I think his statue should come down as well. But, hey-ho, you know. God, see the amount of people that are looking at me, man. I'm actually getting paranoid now with all the people that look at me. Jolene, you got to go. Rosie and Det. Hello, Det. Oh, look. Everyone. Remember what I've found. Look, Mary. Look. There's the Virgin Mary on the flag. That's the leaf flag. Look. Hello, Mary. Two Marys together. Can't see if we can just focus. Out of focus. Look. The two Marys. That's the Virgin Mary on the boat of the leaf flag. Well, some people think it's the Virgin Mary. Some people think it's Mary Magdalene. There's a bit of debate about who the figure is on the leaf flag. Most people think it's the Virgin Mary. And the Virgin Mary, by the way, she was not from Leith. I can assure you that. There's not very many virgins in Leith. But some other people think she's Mary Magdalene. Oh, I'm not... Paul, how many gifts did you get at Christmas? How many gifts did I get at Christmas? I don't think I got any. I don't think my son even bought me anything. During Henry VIII, slaves came over with his first wife. The royal skirted the law. Yeah, shocking, eh? Lorraine, put a sticker on your head stating tour guide. No, I'll put a sticker on my head just saying twat. Look at the skies, looking very moody, isn't it, today? Francis. Marjorie, there must be another tour just finished, is there? So I've got a full signal today here. Maybe there's not as many people now, I don't know what it is. But this is where I lost all my signal yesterday. I think I had about 5 people watching me at the end. That was it. I had to sign on the other app. And that's what happened. I think I lost everyone at that point. So the Edinburgh Festival has just finished, everyone. And thank God. There's nothing really about Edinburgh. It's mostly an English takeover, the Edinburgh Festival. It starts when the English school holidays start. It's just had a Scottish director for the first time since 1947. It's a very English takeover of Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Festival. A lot of the locals do not like it. But it brings a lot to the economy. A lot of the restaurants and bars will make their profit in August. The garbage strike is over as well. So the guys have signed a new deal. The refuse workers have all signed a new deal. So for 2 weeks, Edinburgh was filthy, stinking, full of garbage and refuse that hadn't been collected. Luckily, I was away for most of it. I was away for most of it. I'm on tour now. Yeah, Monique is looking a lot better now. The garbage guys are back on work now. So there's one of his trolleys over there, see? He must be on a break, hiding somewhere. But I'll tell you what a job they must have come back to. They were on strike for 12 days. A lot of the garbage has still not been cleaned up out with the city centre. By the way, do you want to learn a Scottish word? You know the word without? Without. Without. A Scottish word is out with. So if you reverse without to out with, okay? Out with. That's a uniquely Scottish word. It isn't used in England. Out with. It means beyond the reach of. So there you go. If you type it into a computer or a phone, it will highlight it as the wrong spelling. Out with. But it's actually a Scottish word. So you've got a challenge for the next week. You need to use the word out with in a conversation with one of your friends or your colleagues at work. Okay? So out with. Just remember that. Look here. Out with. Okay? So it's out with your control. So see here, Mary Queen of Scots probably drank here. And John Knox probably drunk here too. I doubt it, pal, because that building wasn't built then. That building wasn't built till after 1860. John Knox died in 1560. That building was there 300 years after John Knox died. The Chancellor. Lexi, I'll start including that in emails. Yes, it's a challenge. Because it could be out with your control, out with your reach. It could be out with your pay bracket. Or out with your pay grade. Somebody asks you to do something, just say, oh, that's out with my pay grade. That's what I say. I've not even got a boss. A gin out with tonic. Trust you to bring it down to alcohol. I did a poster for a local pool using out with, and no one understood. So here there are two of Edinburgh's oldest houses. Most of the old town got demolished in 1860s. So these two buildings were kept because this might be John Knox's house. So these are 16th century houses. It's definitely out with my pay grade. Yeah, that's how you can do it. So back in the 16th and 17th century, there was no running water, no sanitation. The buildings were as high as 14 stories. Now look, this building here is only about 4 stories tall, right? But look how higgledy-piggledy it is at the top. Right, so the rich and the poor had to live together in Edinburgh, remember? Edinburgh was a walled city for over 200 years. Most families lived in one room. They just done the toilet in a bucket, and then at 10 o'clock at night, they would open up the window and they would shout, Gare-de-Lou! Gare-de-Lou! Which is French for move out the way of the water. Although it wasn't water they were chucking out the window. Now, if you were walking past and you heard somebody shouting, Gare-de-Lou! You'd be like that. Hold on a minute. Because if you were not quick enough to get out of the way, you got shit-faced, mate. So the next time you see somebody that gets quite drunk, just remember where it originated here in Edinburgh. Don't tell Hago I swore, by the way. I'm only allowed to swear on my sponsor-only tours. So the next time you get shit-faced, everyone, just say, oh man, remember that night we got shit-faced, bro? So there we go. Just a little fun thing to do before we continue on our road. Down the road. We're going to Edinburgh. We're actually, this is where the walled city ended, just here. So just here, you see there's a bar called the World's End. Sometimes you're better turning down the volume in your mic. By the way, I can't believe how strong and harsh my voice sounds. So when you listen back to your own voice, wow, I'm really sorry for my voice, everyone. See, the pub is called the World's End. Hope somebody's left after my shit-faced joke. Oh no, they're waiting to grass me up to Hago. Yeah, they thought the end of the world ended here. Because Edinburgh's walled city. Look, think of your nether regions. You know your nether regions. So you see here, this was the gate. So if you left there, it was the end of the world. They had 6 gates around the walled city, and it was called the Nether Bow Gate. So this is called the Nether Bow. Nether means lower. Makes sense, doesn't it? Your nether regions. Your lower regions. So I'm just going to take you across the road to get a photograph. Yeah, somebody's left a blue rubber doll. Look what they've done. Somebody's had a well now out. They had a blue rubber doll for some reason. And look what's happened to him. He got stuck climbing up a wall. Now, what position I was in, I don't know. I'm saying nothing. I've been in a few states myself, but... Gee whiz, you know. So we're on the Royal Mile now. We're going to walk down to an ancient graveyard. We're going to finish the tour in a graveyard. We started the tour in a graveyard, and we're going to finish the tour in a graveyard. How does that sound, everyone? Let's go for a little walk. You see the statue up here, by the way? A Smurf. Look, see the little statue of the Moroccan person? See it? See the statue just stuck on the wall, randomly. A statue of a Moroccan person, just randomly placed on a wall in Edinburgh. One second, I'm just going to cross the road without getting killed here. Most of us end up in a graveyard or out with. I remember, it was only about 3 years ago, I discovered the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery. I didn't know there was 2 different things. But yeah, there is a difference between a graveyard and a cemetery. Crazy, isn't it? Monique, I recently learned one of my Scottish ancestors, my 10th great-grandfather, was beheaded in the 1600s. Wow, do you know what for? Was he a Covenanter? Was he a religious prisoner, Monique? There was lots of that. Was called the killing times in Scotland, the Covenanters. Scotland was plunged into a religious dark period. Basically, ever since the Protestant Reformation, Scotland was plunged into civil wars, religious wars, Jacobite wars. Scotland has been a very violent country. Somebody was executed in Scotland in the early 1600s for blasphemy. An 18-year-old boy was sentenced to death for blasphemy in Edinburgh on the Royal Mile. Can you believe it? That's only 400 years ago. An 18-year-old, was he 20? Was he 18 or 20? A young chap anyway. And he got executed in Edinburgh for blasphemy. He said Jesus was a false prophet and Muhammad was the real God. So he got executed. Can you imagine? I would not have lasted very long back in these times. Can you imagine me? Sorry, what is the difference between Motley and I've forgotten what I was talking about? Oh, there's a graveyard and a cemetery. A graveyard has a church. A cemetery doesn't. So a cemetery can be anywhere. It doesn't have a church attached to it, whereas a graveyard has a church attached to it. So that's the difference. Sorry, I forgot to say that. In fact, I'll go over here for a postcard shot, everyone. You can see here a link to the Scottish Slavery Past, Sugar House Close. Candace, hello. thank you very much for joining my tour. We'll get a postcard once these people move. God almighty. Oh, the signal's dropped right down. And that guy's just appeared out like a real annoying in the postcard. Move! Postcard. There we go. The signal's dropped. That's what happens when you go into thick walls in Edinburgh. Hopefully it'll pick back up in a second. So we're going into the Royal Church of Edinburgh now. A Protestant church, Church of Scotland, Presbyterian. The Queen Elizabeth, is the head of the Church of England. In Scotland, Jesus is the head of the Church of Scotland. The Queen is not the head of the state in Scotland. So basically, when the Queen goes to church here, this is the Queen's church, by the way. This is the Queen's church. Oh, look, the Queen's church is open. Wonder if I can go in and film it. Looks like there's not an event on. So this is where the Queen goes. Let's ask if I can go in. I'd like to go in. Oh, we'll go in. Thank you very much. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at this. The Queen's in Scotland, actually. Look at this. Very austere for a Protestant Presbyterian church. Again, it's all the regiment flags here. See, I didn't think I'd be allowed in here, by the way. I thought I'd get kicked out of here. I can't believe they've let me in. Look, this is where the Queen sits. Let's see if the Queen's got her cushion. The Queen's cushion might be here. This is the one for the Queen, see? Oh, look, there's the Queen's cushions, look. We're not allowed to sit there. Very Protestant, isn't it? Look where there's no altar. Anything like that. It's actually quite bright in colour for a Protestant church. This blue is quite unusual. Protestants are usually a bit... So look here. This is where the Queen sits. Look. Hello. So this is where the Queen sits when she comes to Scotland and Edinburgh. She's in Balmoral just now. Or is it this side? Is this one with the Queen? I bet it's this side. Oh yes, here's the Queen's side here. Look. Look, the crown and all that. Look. So this is where the Queen sits. The wee crown. See? Just look. Look, this is the crown of Britain. Look, this is when they ruled Ireland. See the harp of Ireland. So, I never thought we'd get inside here. I just thought I'd take a chance and ask them to come in. Just shows you what you can do if you ask. What is it? What's that saying called again? If you don't get, you don't ask. What is it? If you don't ask, you don't get. That's what it is. Well, there's St Margaret, Scotland's only royal saint. She's a Catholic as well. I wonder why she's in a Protestant church. Huh. Look at that. So imagine the Queen sitting here. Hello. What is one talking about today? Always better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Oh look, the Royal Scots. See, all the flags are for the various regiments that guard the Queen when she's in Scotland, you know. And she's only ER1 here, remember. Oh look, King David's Isle. Oh, there's the Queen here, look. I remember I got asked to meet the Queen once. I got asked to meet the Queen. Look. Hello. 96-year-old she is now. 96, look at the Scotland flag. With the motto there. Nemo me impune lacet. No one strikes me with impunity. Is this a small church in England? No, Perry, I'm in Edinburgh. This is the Queen's Church. This is the Royal Church of Edinburgh. So when the Queen comes to Scotland, Edinburgh, this is where she comes on a Sunday. But she's not the Queen, she's not the head of the church in Scotland. She's just an ordinary member. Oh look, their organ's not as impressive as the St Giles Cathedral one. Still quite nice, but isn't it? Look at it. Lovely. Sandy, you've come at the end of the tour. We're inside the Queen's Church in Edinburgh. This is the Royal Church of Edinburgh. The Queen came here for the first time in 1947, actually. Her and her mother, they planted a tree. In fact, I'll show you the tree, actually. I forgot about that. Yeah, the Queen and her mother. Remember the Queen Mother? She lived till she was about 194. And poor old Philip, he never got the telegram from his wife. 4 months. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at the unicorn and the line up on that as well. Look at that. Look at the detail on the clock. Wow. That's beautiful, that unicorn. Never seen one like that. Wow. Thank you very much, by the way. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. I think they regretted letting me in there, by the way. They didn't look too happy with me when I came out. Well, look. So this is the tree that was planted by the Queen here. See this tree? Is it a cherry blossom? Look, this was planted by the Queen. Look, planted by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth on the 17th of July, 1947. Must run, Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. So if we stay on, have you all heard of the Scotland's national poet and all-round general cad, Robert Burns? Fair fa, your honest sonsy face, great chieftain o' the pudding race. What was it? Bought and sold for English gold, such a parcel of rogues in a nation. Auld Lang Syne. Deborah, can you show the front of the church again? See as it's you, Deborah. You see if the doors are painted red, actually. I'll see if I can do a shot for you. The doors are painted red because the Queen Mother asked them. When the Queen Mum came after to visit in 1947, the doors were painted black. And the Queen Mother said to the church, can you please paint the doors a bright colour? Can you paint the doors a bright colour, she said. So the church painted the doors red. You see the stag at the top? You see that stag at the top of the church? That's real antlers. And you know where they get the antlers from? The grounds of Balmoral. The royal family come to shoot our animals. Princess Kate shoots ducks. Most mothers take their children to feed the ducks. Princess Kate takes her children to blast ducks to death with a shotgun. Can you imagine? What drives somebody to shoot a duck? Aye, seriously. She shoots ducks. Why would you want to shoot a duck? I don't get that, like. I'm just going to randomly go out and blast this duck to death. So, yeah, that's the royal family for you. I like what the French did. Revolution! Louise! Hello, Louise. Thank you very much for joining my tour. I'm going to get myself into trouble one day. Look at this view of Edinburgh. So that's the new town here. We're in the old town. And back to Robert Burns. Back to Robert Burns. He was a bit of a cad. I'd done an online Burns supper, right? And my opening lines was this. In a small kind of way, Robert Burns was like Boris Johnson. And everyone's looked at me, what the heck? And I says, yes, nobody knows for sure how many children they both had. They reckon Robert Burns might have had about 14 children to about 5 different ladies. And God knows how many children Boris Johnson's had. I mean, who the heck thinks that man's good looking? Come on, man. Who looked at Boris Johnson across a crowded room and thought, hey, he's the guy for me? You know? I mean, come on. I mean, Boris Johnson, me, there's no comparison. I've been single for 3 bloody years. Gee whiz. Watch what I'm saying, man. I should keep this for my sponsor-only tours, eh? But this is a graveyard. And it's got a very famous lady buried here called Agnes MacLehose. Okay, Robert Burns was a poet. He's came to Edinburgh. He's met a lady called Agnes MacLehose at a party. she was estranged from her husband, right? She was a poet as well, was Agnes MacLehose. And she quite liked the look of Robert Burns, right? So she invited Robert Burns to a tea party at her house. And Robert Burns said, oh yes, Robert Burns is thinking he's onto a good thing. So he's thinking he's going to get to sleep with Agnes, you know. So he's accepted the invitation to the tea party, right? Now, so on the night of the tea party, Robert Burns got a taxi to go to the tea party with Agnes, right? However, the taxi driver was drunk. They crashed the taxi. Now, bear in mind, this is talking about the 1780s. It was a horse and cart. So the taxi driver crashed the taxi, and Robert Burns had to go to the doctors. So he did not get to go to the tea party with Agnes, right? So they started corresponding to each other with love letters. Now, you've got to bear in mind, Agnes was quite a wealthy lady, right? And she was estranged from her husband. Now, but if she had an affair with Robert Burns, the law was that her husband, if he found out about the affair, even though it was her money, that he could take her money off her house and make her destitute and homeless. Right? So she did not want to get caught. So she did not sleep with Robert Burns, right? She did not sleep with Robert Burns. But they started corresponding to each other with love letters. Now, they're both poets. You can imagine how nice these love letters are. Now, she was scared of getting caught, right? So she decided to change their names. So she gave them false names. So Agnes MacLehose became known as Clorinda. And Robert Burns became Slivander. So they started writing each other love letters addressed to Slivander and Clorinda. Now, these must have been some of the most beautiful love letters you can imagine. And of course, one day, because she would not sleep with Robert Burns, what did Robert Burns do? He slept with Agnes's maid and got her pregnant. What an absolute cad. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, Robert Burns is a cad. He got her maid pregnant, right? And then it gets worse. He then sent her a letter saying, oh, by the way, I've met this lady called Jean Armour. She is very ugly. She is so ugly. She is nothing like you, my beautiful princess. What a pile of guff. He married her 6 weeks later. What a cad! Right, so he's got her maid pregnant, he's married a girl, and all the while he's still sending love letters to Clorinda, professing his undying love. A red, red rose, oh my love. Oh no, it was a fond kiss was written for her, one of his favourite poems. A fond kiss was written for Clorinda. Well, when he got married to Jean Armour, the reason he married her was he said she was good with the plough, right? She was good with the plough, and that's why he married her. Jean Armour, right? So Clorinda was a bit cheesed off with this, so she decided to get back with her husband, right? She thought, oh, I'll go and get back with my husband. And you know what? Her husband was living in Jamaica, right? So she sailed all the way to Jamaica from Leith. Probably taken her about 6 weeks, if you can imagine. Well, she's got all the way to Jamaica, and guess what? Her husband had a black sex slave with a child. Her husband had a black sex slave with a child. What another cad. So Agnes MacLehose was none too happy about that. And she sailed back to Edinburgh on the very ship that she sailed from. Look, and here's Clorinda buried here. She done the right thing by not marrying Robert Burns. She outlived Robert Burns by 40 years. She actually became friends with Robert Burns' wife. And do you remember the maid? Do you remember her maid that got pregnant by Robert Burns? Do you know what she done? She paid for the child to get brought up. What a lovely lady Clorinda was. What a lovely lady. And of course, Clorinda is too posh to have a bar. We're not going to name a bar after Clorinda. She's too posh. So she's got a little tea room named after her. A little tea room. Clorinda's tea room where you can go for afternoon tea and scone. Now, if you want, you can go online and go and Google Clorinda's love letters to Robert Burns. And you can try and read them. But it's like trying to read Jane Austen. So her grandson, she did change her name and some of the details, but one of her grandsons found the love letters and published them, so you can actually try and read them. I tried to read them, but I'm not that well educated. But Sir Walter Scott, he's Scotland's national author, he read them, right, and listen to how he described them. He read the love letters and he described them as this. He said they were the most extraordinary mixture of sense and nonsense and of love, human and divine, that was ever exposed to the eye of the world. Isn't that beautiful? The most beautiful love letters that anyone has ever read was between Clorinda and Robert Burns, Slavander. How beautiful was that? So I hope you've enjoyed this tour, everyone. I've just went slightly over the hour. I apologise profusely for that. If you have enjoyed the tour, if you can leave the tour guide a tip, that gives me the will to come and do this again. If you want to sponsor me, Heygo have introduced a sponsorship scheme. So if you might want to sponsor instead of leaving a tip, if you pay £10 a month, you get access to repeat tours, you get exclusive sponsor-only tours and so on, and other perks as well. So please consider sponsoring me. Nothing will change on my tours. All my tours will be the same. Apart from the sponsor-only tours, I can do things like swear words and things like that. So please consider that as well. And thank you very much. Sarah G, I never saw you coming in, Sarah. Hello, Sarah. So thank you very much for sticking by me. Have a lovely day, and please join me tomorrow on my 2 topless bus tours of Edinburgh. I look forward to it. I'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully, everyone. Take care. And thank you, Sarah, for coming in.